Imagine a person who is owed 1,000 rands, and obviously if he is owed 1,000 rands, legitimately he can ask for it, he can pursue it. Legally, he can actually take up a lot in order to get it. But is it worth the drama? That's the question. Why should I pay 10,000 rands in order to get back 1,000 rands? One might say, well, it's to prove a point. You pay a price to prove points. Remember that. We as Muslims are taught that you must always weigh the pros and cons and allow the lesser of the two evils if you have no third option. Remember that. And this is something very interesting, because many people are bogged down in life. They simply cannot move forward. You lost your job, you were fired unceremoniously, and you want to get back at your old boss. By that occupation that you've now engaged in of getting back to your old boss, you have stopped your eyes from looking ahead at jobs that are glaring you in your face simply because you did not move on. It's okay. You're not the first person to lose your job. You're going through a tough time. Trust me, we've all been through tough times. It might last a year, it might last 5 years, it might last 10 years, but it will last longer if you don't progress.
We're running around trying to find love here and there, and we're trying to find success here and there, and we're looking and we're searching and we're going high and low, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent you a manuscript from Him, pure love from Him, pure revelation, pure in every sense of the word, and yet we've neglected it. Why, my brothers? The remembrance of Allah, the Prophet of Allah, he says sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, amazing. He says sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and please don't listen to me so you can be entertained. Brother, you know your heart, rip your heart out today and put it on the table. And for God's sake, for Allah's sake, just once in your life, let your heart move, bro, let it move. Khalid bin Walid, one of the greats, one of the absolute mamas of our ummah. Khalid bin Walid, there's a particular narration when they were facing the Romans. And Khalid bin Walid was an absolute wild horse, just an absolute gun. So Khalid bin Walid used to wait for the Muslim army to go to sleep at night. Then on his own, Khalid bin Walid on his own would mount on his horse and go over to the Romans, go over to the enemy on his own, to get intel, to suss out the army. What are they doing? What are they planning? So the Muslims used to trip it. They used to say, Khalid, what's wrong with you? You're the Amir, you're going on your own. I mean, at the very least, take some men with you. Maybe something happens to you, you're killed, something happens. Look at the way he thought. He says, didn't you hear the Prophet of Allah say, didn't you hear him say that the difference between the living, he says the difference between the one that remembers Allah and the one that doesn't is like the living and the dead. He said, what can 60,000 dead do to one man that's living? What can they do to me? Why? Because when you remember Allah, my brothers, wallahi, your heart comes to life.
Beloved brothers and sisters, a lot is happening across the globe. More so the difficulty and hardship that people are facing as a result of the changing world because of a pandemic that has overtaken the globe. And you and I know that many people have lost their loved ones. Many people have lost jobs, they've lost income. Many people do not know what might happen tomorrow, because obviously as a mu'min we do realize that everything is in the hands of Allah. We are believers and we know that Allah can change things at any time, positive or negative. It's up to Him. فَعَالٌ لِمَا يُرِيدُ. He does what He wishes. لَا يُسْأَلُ عَمَّا يَفْعَلُ وَهُمْ يُسْأَلُونَ. Allah will never be questioned about what He does, but they, meaning you and I, will be questioned. What you do, what I do, we will be questioned. But what Allah does, no one can ever question Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So as much as we know things are in the hands of Allah, some people struggle with anxiety because they don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. and perhaps they need a boost of faith. My brothers, my sisters, I am here to tell you that nothing will harm you except if Allah has written it against you. And no good will come in your direction except if Allah has written it for you. So lay your trust in Allah, try your best, and be pleased with whatever the outcome is. You've lost a loved one. You're not the first person to lose a loved one, but it is difficult. It is very hard. We do know people may shed tears. Their lives may change when the breadwinner is lost. And when they don't know how he used to earn, suddenly things come crashing. And for this reason, I've come across many people who've lost income completely after the death of a breadwinner, because that breadwinner did not inform the family or anyone how they were earning, what they were earning, what to do if they died. They didn't expect to die, but death comes very unexpectedly. Inna ajal Allahi idha jaa la yuakhkhar. When the fixed time of Allah comes, it's not going to be delayed. So prepare for that day by letting some of your loved ones know, if I die, this is how my business runs. If I die, this is how you will earn. This is how you will live, and so on, if possible. May Allah make it easy for us. But that having been said, as believers, you need a ton of faith in Allah in order to go through difficulty and hardship.